Hello students, I am Dr. Sandeep Walia and today we are going to discuss about the introduction to linkage of tourism marketing. After completing this module, we shall be able to understand about the concept of process in tourism marketing. We shall also be able to know about, while discussing about the components of process of tourism marketing, with that we shall also be able to learn and understand about the managing of process in tourism marketing, and then after that we'll be able to discuss the linkages of tourism marketing. So students, any process or a process is considered as an important element in tourism marketing because of its service oriented characteristics. It is a combination of interconnected and interrelated activities that transforms inputs into outputs. Services or service in tourism marketing process can be described as the procedures focused on formulating values for the tourist and service marketing. Hence, it is to encourage tourists to understand and utilize the process of getting maximum values. The tourism marketing process incorporates procedures, work schedules, activities, mechanisms, and routines which help in the efficient product or service delivery to a tourist when the tour is on. It is generally network of activities and their interrelation. Some of these processes are in regulations with the government rules to ensure hassle-free movement and control of the various services and facilities. Let us discuss this with the help of an example. Like the government makes it mandatory to fulfill various details, the purpose of visit, etc. while entering to a foreign country. The same procedures can be followed by the hotel industry when providing the accommodation to the tourist. Even though a lot of hotels nowadays are following such practices and keep records of the tourists who are visiting to them. Tourism marketing is the collective name given to the various marketing strategies used by the business firms within the tourism industry. This includes, for example, hotels and other forms of accommodation, along with airlines, car rental services or car rental companies, restaurants, entertainment venues, travel agents, and tour operators. The purpose behind tourism marketing is to promote the business, make it stand out from rivals, attract customers, and generate brand awareness. Many modern tourism marketing strategies make use of the internet with the help of websites, online advertisements, email and social media platforms, often playing a key role in tourism marketing. As it is one of the world's largest industries, the tourism industry is extremely competitive. This means that businesses operating within the industry need to find ways to stand out from rivals, promote themselves as being the best option for tourists, and highlights some of the things that they can make them different or superior from their competitors. Marketing is essential for achieving this, and many of the best tourism marketing tips focus on helping businesses to find a unique selling point and promote them. Let us now discuss about the meaning of process. What do we understand by the process? A process means a sequence of interrelated activities which helps to generate specific outcomes, produces services and facilities for the customers. It is also referred to an approach which helps in the proper service delivery mechanism. Definition of process in tourism marketing. So dear students, in order to define the process in tourism marketing, that means a process in tourism marketing is defined and characterized as a sequence of procedures that allows organizations to recognize tourists' problems, analyze the opportunities of tourism market and design tourism services which can reach to the desired customers at the proper spot and at that particular time. Let us now discuss about the concept of process in tourism marketing. In tourism marketing, the process of transfer of services or delivery of services to tourists plays an important and crucial part in the total tour experience. The process involves a number of facilities and services incorporating mechanisms of service delivery and a number of personnel involved in transferring these services to the tourist. A proper delivery mechanism helps in transferring of services and facilities at the right spot, on proper time, in the right and proper manner. For example, a bad experience at an airport checkout with unnecessary delays or non-cooperative staff can overturn and repeal all the good experiences of the tour, thereby making the whole experience or the entire tour experience dissatisfactory. Proper flight timings, clearance at the airports, quickly, hotel transfers smoothly, and the ease of proceedings at the hotels are the examples of effectual process in tourism marketing. A proper integration and collaboration of all these mechanisms are essential for smooth processing of the service delivery. Destination marketing refers to a management process through which the national tourist organizations or tourist enterprises identifies their selected tourists who can be actual and potential and communicate with them to ascertain and influence their wishes, needs, motivation and likes and dislikes on local, rural, regional, national and international levels, and to formulate and adapt their tourist products accordingly with a view of achieving optimal tourist satisfaction, thereby fulfilling their objectives. The marketing concept is often used inappropriately, reducing it to the promotion and sale of products and tourist destinations, and in particular to advertising and to tourism fairs and events. While these functions are important, there is much more to marketing. Tourism destinations are probably among the most difficult products to market, thereby involving large number of stakeholders and a brand image. A destination marketing organization is any organization at any level that is responsible for the marketing of a destination. This therefore excludes separate government departments, divisions who are responsible for planning and policy execution for such activities. Let us now discuss about the various components of process in tourism marketing. My dear students, the process in tourism marketing involves a series of components that help and support in the proper service delivery mechanism at the right time. These components are significantly important for efficient process of service delivery in tourism, and such components or processes are discussed as follows. The first one is activities and flows. A process can be recognized and acknowledged when with the help of its activities and their interrelations. This process flow can help in recognizing the obstructions and negligence of service delivery. The whole process can be improved with the help of improving and enhancing the neglected areas. Processes can be improved by setting up the quality level of each and every activity and spotting the correct flows to get these qualities, or by constantly enhancing the process against its own standards. Every activity in a process is significantly important and can be divided into front end and back end activities. Though the front end activities are seen as they are visual and recognized by the tourist, whereas the back end activities are not recognizable, yet they also have the impact on the former. Every one of these activities can be broken down into further in-depth analysis. This may be real, or this may reveal the actual problematic areas that affect the processes. For example, the conversion rate of overbooking can give information about pleasure and satisfaction among tourists. Second is procedures of transfer of services. The procedures for transfer of service or services have been adopted from shop floor manufacturing processes and involve these components. The first is assembly line, which includes arranging the tourism offers in a quality form on a constant basis and selling the same to a line of customers. For example, fast food restaurants utilize their process to prepare their popular meals and serve to the queue of customers. Then the second is batch processing or intermittent operations, which involves arranging a product or service in a group and then selling them. Tourism offers are usually arranged and then sold in batches. These groups usually differ based on their components. And for example, organizing tour packages for the same sector but with the services and characteristics that are different is a kind of batch process. The third is the job shop. Each and every offer is assembled and organized as desired and required by the tourist. This procedure makes necessary the every offer distinct from each other and is mostly utilized to serve in a niche market. An example of this kind of procedure of transfer of services is the customized tour package. Let us now discuss about the mechanism of transfer. Each business entity can determine their own mechanisms and procedures for transfer of facilities and services on the basis of measures adopted, tourist facilities, productiveness and effectiveness. The main components of communication, information and knowledge, cost and time are incorporated in the service delivery. Some of the critical components of service transfer mechanism are discussed as follows. The first one is communication. Communicating continuously and properly with the tourists helps a service provider in fulfilling all their desires and needs and also provides an understanding of how these mechanisms function. The second is the information and knowledge management. A proper management of database systems help in providing all the important information and suggestions that are necessary for the better tourist experience. Such kind of information and knowledge definitely helps in ensuring the proper delivery and transfer of services to the tourists. Then comes the safety, which is the foremost concern of tourists at a tourist place or spot or destination they used to visit. And any risk or threat can damage the whole transfer process. The safety measures can include hygiene, sanitation, law and order situations during a tour. Tourists have to be ensured of their safety at the right time. Then comes the environment management. That means the services and facilities are transferred in an external environment which frequently impacts the process perceptions. The entire batch of these services generating the tourist experience must be ensured in a proper environment. The next step is the complaint handling. The best processes and offers may even generate complaints on the basis of individual evaluation by the clients. Here the tourism marketers are responsible to listen and properly solve such issues which tourists are facing in an effective manner. The effective complaint handling system and mechanism helps in setting the concerns which are raised by the tourist. Then comes the time taken in transfer. Time taken is significantly an important issue in the transfer of services and can determine the level of satisfaction of the customers. Due to the little capacity and synchronous production and consumption, time taken in the transfer and the delivery of service is an important concern in tourism marketing. Tours frequently come across the situations concerning time taken such as long booking times, queuing and waiting times, and overbooking. Then the next is the cost of transfer. Every tourism service transfer costs the firm and environment. The costs concerned with the tourism service providers are visible, such as the cost of infrastructure at the destinations, the cost pertaining to human resource, and the costs which are involved in services costs. Also, some of the costs incurred indirectly and are invisible to the service providers, such as impacts of natural resources, environmental, society, and culture. Now let us discuss about involvement of tourists in transfer. Students, active participation and involvement of tourists in the process of service transfer helps in time management, maintaining cost of services, and better tourist experiences. This tourist participation and involvement generally depends upon the nature of services that can be both of low contact or high contact. Low contact services are mostly received by tourists without any participation and involvement. For example, everything from places to duration is fixed and the tourists only have the experiences. While as in high contact services, tourist experiences are decided by the tourist himself or herself. For example, suggestions from tourists are invited in deciding every element of the tour. Let us now discuss about managing of process in tourism marketing. Processes in tourism marketing are regulated and supervised through the guidelines and standard operating procedures, which we call SOPs, which needs to be followed both by the tourist and the service providers. For the effective process management and delivery of services, guidelines are issued to the tourists, host, and service providers. These guidelines may include SOPs for the protection and conservation of cultural heritage, respect for tourists, and looking after the natural resources as well. Such guidelines also involve the cooperation and active participation of tourists in the management of effective service delivery at the right time. To improve the process of service delivery and market value of their products, tourism service providers mostly utilize extrinsic factors, credentials, and certifications such as Ecotel, Green Globe, ISO certification as process guidelines. In addition to these processes guidelines, tourism service providers also utilize process-based software such as CRS and SAP for the maintenance of effective delivery and transfer of services to the tourist. Let us now discuss about the linkages to tourism marketing. Students, tourism is an economic activity that links places and regions which send tourists, which are called source markets, to the places and regions which host tourists, which are host markets, thus generating the tourist flow. Tourism is subject to the development of global markets, both international and local economic laws of supply and demand. Individuals or companies which are determined to start tourism as a business, as well as those already operating in the market, need to understand the trend and features of global tourism market demand to be more competent to plan the services and the facilities which are being required by the tourist, keeping in their preferences and choices. We all know that Tourism marketing is associated with marketing strategies in the field of tourism. Today, there are many countries in the world where tourism plays a major role in enhancing the gross domestic product of that country, which we call as GDP. In such cases, tourism marketing becomes an important thing. Many of the places are generally the hotspots for tourists, like Taj Mahal in India. Now, places like these are considered as the perfect areas where one can boost tourism marketing. The places which are more likely to be the major spots for attracting tourists are the places where tourism marketing flourishes now the most. Now, tourism marketing is all about applying several marketing techniques and strategies to boost the tourism industry of that place. For a successful tourism marketing to take place, the thing that is required the most is that the brand should speak for themselves in such a way that their voices can be heard in the target markets. This way, they will be able to generate, cleanest successfully. Also, they need to be really careful in providing services to their clients. This is because if the customers are happy with the services, chances they will spread the word and this may bring them more customers. In the case of tourism marketing, it becomes easy to find and draw the attention of the target customers towards the website by providing encouraging contents. The strategic planning and branding is the key to effective tourism marketing. With it is carried out, be keeping these 2 points in mind, chances are that the company that is involved in tourism marketing will be able to gain the advantage over their customers and is having no time and become a monopoly in the tourism industry. The linkage to tourism marketing is a process of many segments which ensures the effective delivery of services and facilities to the tourist. These segments involve the interrelationships of various elements which are discussed as follows. The first is the market. Tourism market usually involves the processes of demand and supply of products and services which are being delivered to the tourists. The process of demand for tourism services depends upon the total number of tourists traveling, staying and utilizing the services at the tourist destination. While as the process of supply of tourism services involves attractions, amenities, activities, transportation, food and accommodation that is available for the use of the tourist at that place. The next is the stakeholders. Stakeholders in the tourism marketing comprises of all the individuals and businesses which are involved in the process of buying and selling of the tourism related product and services which are required by the tourist at the destination visited. Then comes the competitiveness, the capacity of a business or a group of businesses to design, strengthen and increase over time, which plays it favorably in a market is known as the process of competitiveness. Some of the sources of competitiveness process are cost leadership, flexible specialization and distinction in terms of quality, innovation, technology and brand image. Then the fourth is cooperation. The process of cooperation in tourism marketing involves exchange of information and knowledge, implementation of efficient production structures, access to the development of services, expansion of domestic and foreign market through proper marketing strategies, increase in the capacity of representation and settlement between business partners and organizations, and the access to public infrastructure and the basic services. Then comes the motivations to tourists, which is the next segment. That means the process to motivate tourists to travel to a destination is considered to be the key feature in tourism marketing. The travel motivation of tourists is a complex process and is related to a set of external and internal factors. The basic external factors are not dependent on the tourist but are based on the political and economic situations, social and cultural circumstances, and transportation and communication services of the region to be visited. While as the internal factors mainly are the unique features of the travelers, such as age, sex, origin, social status, educational level, income, and the experience of the traveler. Dear students, let us summarize what all we have studied and discussed in this module. A process in tourism marketing is the sequence of events that ensures in the effective mechanism of transfer and delivery of services to the tourist at the right spot at the right time. These mechanisms are interconnected and interrelated to the activities that transforms input into output. Some of these procedures and mechanisms are regulated by the government authorities with the provision of guidelines to manage the effective delivery of services to the tourist. The process of tourism marketing incorporates the components and characteristics which help and support in the effective transfer and delivery of services to the tourists. These components involve the activities, time, procedures, tourist involvement, services and facilities, and cost of such services, ensuring the effective service delivery process. With these words, I would like to sum up this module. Thank you very much.